George Soros sent $5 million to legal group funded by Democrat lawyer behind discredited Steele dossier. It seems like every single uh, evil thing that's going on in this country, George Soros has his hand in. This is crazy. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my merch store. Also, check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news as well. All right, let's talk about this news. A legal fund established by prominent Democrat Party lawyer Mark Elias received $5 million last year from left wing billionaire George Soros' philanthropic organization. In 2022, Soros' Open Society Foundation, y'all know all about them, I talk about them all the time, contributed $5 million to the nonprofit Hopewell Fund, which then allocated the funds to the Democracy Docket Legal Fund, or DDLF, a left wing legal group founded by Elias. You see how this stuff works. This is how they get away with this stuff. They start these foundations, and then they take the foundations and they use the money to plot their evil doings. This information was disclosed on OSF's website and was first brought to light by Capital Research Center. It's worth noting that OSF had provided an identical grant to DDLF in 2020 through the Hopewell Fund. Now, Mark Elias initiated the DDLF in 2020, concurrently with the launch of Democracy Docket, a media platform and election litigation organization, as reported by Fox News. Additionally, Elias established the Elias Law Group in 2021 upon leaving international law firm Perkins and Coie LLP, you know, the ones behind the dossier. Now, according to Parker Thayer, an investigative researcher at the Capital Research Center, George Soros, Mark Elias, and Arabella Advisors have significant financial ties to the Democratic Party. Thayer expressed concerns about IRS allowing such activities under the guise of tax-exempt charitable activities. See, this is how they fund this. Again, this is how they fund this stuff. And they funnel it all the way back to the Democratic Party. And Mark Elias gained notoriety for funding the Steele dossier during his tenure with Hillary Clinton's unsuccessful 2016 Democratic presidential campaign. The Steele dossier, which alleged collusion between the 2016 Trump campaign and Russia, was later debunked by special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation, which found no evidence of collusion, which, if y'all been following me way back then, know that I said as much. Now, in 2022, the Federal Election Commission fined the Democratic National Committee and the Clinton Foundation for misclarifying the funding of the dossier, as reported by the Washington Free Beacon. Elias and the DNC parted ways in April due to strategic differences after more than a decade of collaboration. Elias faced scrutiny in 2021 for working with Democratic congressional candidate Rita Hart to challenge Republican Rep. Marionette Miller Meek's narrow victory. Additionally, a federal appeals court sanctioned Elias in 2021 for misleading filings during a legal dispute over a Texas voting law, according to the Washington Free Beacon. You see what? So they use these funds to attack the laws that's on the book, to attack attack the Constitution and all these other things. They use the money against you. And the Hopewell Fund, a part of the left-wing nonprofit network overseen by Democratic consulting firm Arabella Advisors, is described as one of the sister funds. It operates as a physically sponsored project of Hopewell, allowing it to avoid public disclosure of its finances and activities. These are dirty tricks they use. And Thayer emphasized that this arrangement is intended to obscure and conceal a strategy that Elias and the Democracy Docket appear to prefer, is maintaining a shadowy presence despite the typical trajectory of such projects spinning off into separate entities after the incubation period. This is all smoke and mirrors. Again, this is how they use these money to work against the people. This is why we have stuff like open borders and illegals coming into this country illegally. Who do you think is paying to fly a lot of these illegal immigrants in here? They don't just walk through the Amazon. These people are being bussed here. These people are being thrown here. And George Soros' Open Border Society is one of the people that pay for this, and they pay for the lawyers that help them stay in this country. And that's what all this stuff is. It basically comes from. It's from the George Soros. It all comes from George Soros. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.